Good evening, everyone, and welcome to GrayManPrepping. It is time for Survival Saturday. And tonight's or today's topic, depending on the time of day where you're at, you are in a mag. Now what? And let me bring me up here. Okay, so this topic comes around. It seems like once a year, every year and a half, and with the number of people that are in the live streams and watch it afterwards, I can see why it comes around, because people don't catch it. And I don't need to worry about that. It's a mag. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And they go about their business, and it's like, crap, maybe I ought to join a mag. Maybe I need to figure this stuff out. So they asked the question. This one had a question asked on it. But let me do a couple things here first. Okay, first of all, we're not doing fantasy stuff. We're not doing fear porn. No Kool-Aid drinking, couch camping, Cheeto eating zone. Straight talk, truth. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about here today, about this. All right, let me go to the comments and scroll up here to the top. All right, so Chef Tech Mark was first one in, followed by Phelan Clan Wolf, who has been a member for 16 months, and he said second by seconds. And I checked the time. Yeah, the timestamp was same time frame. It's just seconds off. Then Walt came in, Walt Rogers. Then Mad Chick Acres. That's Chef Tech's other channel. Let's see here. Patriot JC. Still trying to find the mag where he's at. So you may change your mind when I get into the basics here on it, between a mag and a keg and a village. We're going to cover a lot of stuff here. All right, Little Lone Preppers in the house. It's the Marshmallow Man, member for 4 months. Let's see here. Utah Mike's in the house. CR is in the house. Okay, that's creative redundancy. Okay. All righty. So mag, no, but neighborhood group together. So we're going to cover what that is. So let me go to the email. The one person mentioned it twice to me. They sent the email after they asked the question in a live stream. And from the live stream question, I put it into the calendar. And when she reiterated it in the emails, go, it's already got it scheduled. However, what she said in the live stream and what she said in the email was a little bit different. So I want to read you the email here. Let me get it up here so I can see it. I wanted to suggest a topic for a future live stream or video. Every prepper channel says build a mag. Not everyone does, but there are some that say don't do a mag. We'll explain why they choose other options. They tell you that lone wolves have a decreased chance in emergency, and you need a mag, or we'll just say a group. And that's true. Lone wolves ain't going to make it because you can't stay awake 24/7. That's great, but what then? Once you find like-minded people, what topics would you start with at a meeting? Question mark. Preppers love to talk guns and stuff, but there's so much more. Exactly. How to divide tasks. What are the basic beliefs, motto, principles of the group? How to divide work, divide resources, how to settle disputes, bringing others in, trading with other groups. What if someone gets sick or breaks the rules? Religion. So many questions. It seems like some of these should be discussed so that a group can start with a plan to get ahead of things in an SHTF scenario. The groups that are organized the quickest seems to be the ones that have the best chance to survival, thriving. And I like that. She did survival/thriving. A mag can be your family, neighbors, community, etc. There are different layers. And are there different layers in a mag? Like trust circles. There are a lot there that I don't think pros. a lot there that I really don't think is being addressed with the prepper community. Maybe it's not being addressed because people don't know how to do it. All I know is groups and group needs are slightly different. There must be some similarities between building other groups, work projects, sports teams, etc. But not everyone knows how to build a team. Have your own supplies is a good start, but not enough. Just a thought for a future video or live. Thanks. Okay, I'll see Howie, Food Forest Permaculture came in. Who else did I miss while I was reading that? And of course, CR is making a pun. Mutual assistance gardening. All right, so I'm going to start out with what I had here. There's the email I was reading from. I put it into here. Okay, a point of clarification. The two main topics that people talk about is a MAG versus a CAG. A MAG is a mutual assistance group. A CAG is a community assistance group. A MAG, 99% of the time, has a place to go to. That's part of it. They go to someplace. Or a CAG, you stay where you're at because you're everybody's networking in the neighborhood, in the community. Okay, so there's that. Those are the two things. The two ones that I hear talk about the most is MAG and CAG. All right. So after the point, I'm gonna jump this, and I'm gonna go jump to another PowerPoint from 2 years ago, where I actually defined the groups. The work has just begun. You're part of a group, no matter what group it is. The work has just begun. Is the mindset to survive, or is it to thrive? Is there monthly training? Now, the monthly training can just be a first aid class, a gardening class, class teaching skills, how to work leather, how to butcher meat, how to do gardening. Training can be anything. Quarterly drills. So 4 drills a year where, all right, we're heading out to whatever we're going to do, or if we're staying put, we're pretending it happened, and we're going to practice dealing with the scenario. Does the group have bylaws? Does the group have elections? If the group does not have written bylaws that everybody can see before they join, don't join. If the group does not have elections, turn about and run. Do not walk to the nearest exit. Access. How easy is it for a person to join up with the group? How much access do you have to the leadership? And of course, what's expected of you? I think that's the last one I had on this one. Yeah. So let me check the things here. Okay, Howie saying hi to everybody, and everybody saying hi to Howie. Yeah, but then the thing is, though, the LDS Church isn't the only big church in Utah. There are other churches there too, Catholic, Lutherans, etc., and some of them do have things set up too. Okay, and just because they're moving away doesn't mean they can't maintain a MAG. There are several groups that I know of that I've been invited in to talk to them, and not at a member's house, but they set up go get a they rent the closed off room at like Fuddruckers, the big upstairs room, whatever, to have a meeting, and or they do it at another restaurant, or they go ahead and just rent a little room in a hotel for a little seminar for them. But anyways, some of them their MAGs location where they go to is a couple hours away from where they live, and they're all around it, coming at it from different directions. Most of them are probably coming at it from one direction, but there's others coming in from other directions. So when people start moving away, it depends how far away are they moving, And do they want to, if the MAG actually owns property, are they still wanting to be vested in it, or do they want to get bought out? Okay, let me see here. Let's drop that down and get this other one up here. Get rid of that one. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to touch on 3 of the slides from this one here, just to cover some stuff before I get into the big meaty one. Okay, so what type of group do you want if you are trying to set one up? That's what this slide, this one was from last year, was, you want to set your own up. Do you want a CAG, a MAG, the village, the tribe, the team, community of friends? What is it you're looking for that you think is going to do you the most good? So if you're trying to set something up, you got to decide between these which one works best. And what type of people do you want? Do you want warriors? Do you want medicals? Do you want survivalists, traders, warlords, gardeners, tradesmen, craftsmen? Yeah, there's a whole different type of things to look at it. Do you want intellectuals in the group too, such as those with extreme high IQ, but also have a high CQ, character quotient, which means they're more down to earth than just your normal geniuses are. And Tammy Rebel Canners is in the house. So going over, what type of people, you got to figure out what type of people do you want in there. And what are your goals for the group? To hide out till it blows over, to offer assistance to those around it, and to bring more people in as the event continues on and on and on. Just to survive? Is it to make a profit? Some MAGs actually make a profit, and depending on the bylaws, what they do with that profit is very iffy. Are you out to set up your own little kingdom? Are you looking to thrive and grow and help others grow with you? All right, so let me get rid of that one. There was a whole bunch more in there on that, but you just covered the gist of it right there. Let's go to the meaty one here. And of course, this up here. All right, this was from April of 2022, I believe. All right, it's going to be fun. You got Mark and I don't know if Jay's here yet or not, but you got CB in there. Okay, let's see who else came in here. J-Dub's in the house. Definitely no politicians. Let's see. Bushcraft family. Hey, how's it going? Who else came in? Diana 2 is here. All right. So let's go to here. Now we're going to get into the real meat of groups, the different types of groups. So get your notepad out and start taking some quickie notes. You may want to come back and review this portion of it. And we're what, 15 minutes in, thereabouts, 14 minutes. All right, so I threw this one in here for Steve at Corsair Trainers. He's always yelling, Wolverines. Okay, so let's talk about, we're going to talk about lone wolves. Lone wolves, just that, they plan to go it alone. They're usually single individuals, but they can be a single family unit. Generally, they do not have enough supplies to last as long as they think they need. They think they'll be able to get supplies and, to live off the land and that sort of thing. They can be a threat to others because when they get down to it and they're starting to starve themselves, they generally have firepower to help them steal from others. Now, some of them, when all of a sudden they realize the error of the ways, may decide to try to join a group at that point in time. You know, it could be 3 months in, 6 months in, their first winter, and they're like, holy crap, did I misjudge this? Okay. But for the most part, they will not survive because, come on, not supposed to go forward like that. Because they, you know, they can't stay awake 24/7. They can't be sleeping while someone else is on guard duty. If they get injured, they generally can't. They break a leg, they can't set the leg. They can't, you know, if they're there, chills and just go. They usually can't take care of themselves. They get diphtheria. They definitely can't take care of themselves. So, you know, for the most part, lone wolves are not going to survive on their own. All right, MAC. The Mutual Assistance Community, or MAG, the Mutual Assistance Group. Okay, we're splitting hairs now, so there's different things there already in it. So a MAC, Mutual Assistance Community, sizes vary from small to very large, locally based for most members, does not own specific land for member use, generally is not found in or near big cities. Generally, there's no dues or buy-ins are required, so it doesn't cost you anything to get in. They are easier to join the most formal groups. Skill cross-training is often encouraged with a MAC. They want everybody to know everything. That way, if their doctor gets hurt, there are a bunch of others that are trained up enough to get the doctor better. Then there is, I don't know why there's a timer on this thing. I apologize. Doctors, dentists, and lawyers, LLC. Yeah, there are some rich ones that are set up there. Let's see. An LLC, a limited liability corporation. It's easy to get LLC set up now, except that now the government has requirements that say every year you must file a form, I'm not sure what form it is, with the IRS saying who is the who are the officials of the LLC. Now, LLCs vary from very small to very large, legally set up with memberships as shareholders in the LLC, very structured with specific rules, bylaws, predetermined membership levels, and stock buy-in costs. The company or corporation owns the land. Skill cross-training is often required, and they do background checks. Okay, so see, it's getting a little bit more into the weeds here, a little bit more structured, more rules set up on it. A MAG, a mutual assistance group. Established MAGs are large, but not as large as MACs. They are more formal or structured than a MAC with written rules. Most are set up as a legal entity. If it's not an LLC, they'll set themselves up as an S Corp or some other type of business. MAG members are more spread out than those of a MAC. MAG will often own land with buildings on it. Upper leadership are usually permanently in place, which means there's no elections. They may have membership levels and buy-in costs. A membership level may, depending on how much you pay to come in, you come in at different levels, you get different amenities in the MAG. In the highest one, you may get the amenity of getting an RV pad with all the utilities on it, or you have to have on a section like a 1/4 acre to put a house on, or bring in a mobile home or a manufactured home and set it up. Or you could be down at the poor man level of it, and you can park your trailer out wherever, but you're I know there's a timer on it, off wherever, and you don't have electricity for it. You don't have anything but what you bring in. Some of them, it's like people just show up with their vehicles and tents, and they're not thinking long term. And generally, some mags will do background checks, others will not. And of course, Wolverines is a team. Small units, 5 to 8 family units, very structured with rigid specific rules. They all have a specific ideology. They often run a military style leadership. Leadership is fixed. It may or may not own land, and they can be a threat because their mindset is generally one of, all right, it's getting bad. If we don't have it, we're just going to have to take it. So that's for the ones that don't own land. If the team actually owns land, or a member of the team owns land, and everybody goes out there, they become a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Softer to those around them, because they can set up, have gardens, and use stuff, more often. Come on. There we go. Tribes. Tribes are larger than teams, less rigid in their daily rules. Their ideology may become ritualistic. There may be set joining requirements, may or may not own land. Usually the leadership is set, but with a tribe, there is a way for leadership to change. Some tribes, you figure that one out on your own, different ways they could do new leadership, but it's very seldom. A village. Villages are larger than tribes, more open in their specific rules and ideologies. Leaders are elected. There may be set joining requirements, may or may not own land. Plan on establishing a community with businesses. A lot of villages are planning, okay, it's the end of the world as we know it. There is no more supply chain. There's not going to be any more government setting up for at least a decade or more, and we have no place to buy stuff. Everybody has certain skills and stuff, so we're going to open up a bunch of little businesses, and so help set a community of businesses and start building up around us and bringing other people in to have skills and stuff to have their own little businesses, and they basically wind up setting a variant. I can't remember what this one was for. Okay, nomads. Okay, wolf pack or nomads. That's the last two are for. Let me get something to drink here. So a wolf pack or a nomad or nomads are a mobile group, obviously, larger than teams. They plan to wander until everything settles down, and then pick a spot. All right, this area here is doing good. Everybody is nice and calm. So we'll see if we can set up over here with them when the time comes. Grandma Merkel, hello, how you doing? I'm not thinking long term either with tents and campers in my yard. So they plan to wander until everything settles down. Traveling like the nomads of the deserts with all their belongings. Some will have livestock. They will, they may have horses. They may have some cows. They may have goats or sheep or pigs, that they can herd along as they go. Usually they have a set leadership. Sometimes they don't. This lifestyle is going to be a hard lifestyle, but they can also wander away from, and if they scout properly, they can avoid all the trouble spots if they do good reconnaissance. I can't even say the word. Reconnoiter. Okay. So that is basically a quick shot rundown on different types of groups. So you got to figure out, all right, what type of group do I want to have? What type of group do I want to be part of? Do they want me to be part of their group? What do I have to offer them? That's why I tell in all my videos at the end for the last year here, I've been saying, learn a new skill. So and there it is, listening and heard it. And there, oh no, I didn't hit. All right, there's the send button. Okay, so there's the link. So looking at it, what sort of group are you planning on having? Are you going to look at several of these and go, okay, we want this from this one here, and we want these kind of things from that one there, but we don't want to have. We want to have elected leadership, but we want it so that nobody can be in for more than 2 terms at a time. And you however you want to set it up, and you can work on it to, hey, Sumi, you can take parts from each of these different ones I was showing and create your own style or your own parameters on one of the styles or what type of group you want to be part of. So yeah, there are things to think about on it. Whether you want to be part of a village, you want to be part of a CAG, a MAG, a MAC. Yeah, so there's different ones to be associated with and follow through. I'm just going back over it. Any type, like the teams can become troublemakers. Lone wolves can become troublemakers. Generally, you can count on those around that when you have a group becoming a troublemaker, they're going to take a little bit for of flack for a little bit and say, okay, we need to eliminate these guys. Hey, Jeremy, Tennessee Tactical 1 is in the house.
It's like having full-time moderators in person.
Yeah. Let's see here. So I think the freedom of a village or a MAC. Yeah. Especially since generally a village wants to grow. And generally most MACs want to grow. It's not stagnating. It's not just surviving, it's thriving. Going back here, I'm just checking some of other ones. Yeah. One of the things that for me, we got where I'm at is sort of a community assistance group or a mutual assistance community. Because the city is only 1/4 mile square, and what few how do I want to put it? Not troublemakers, but lamos in town. When everything hits the fan, everybody's gonna be notified. Sorry, we're not gonna have you be a deficit on our survival, you're going to stick around. You're going to work.
But I can play video games really well.
And being a new one in town, takes a little while to get everybody's trust.
And having a really compact neighborhood makes it almost as bad, especially when people are coming and going all the time. And some of the people coming in, I wouldn't trust them just by seeing them walk by and talk to each other.
Yeah. There are different oh man, I gotta take a cough drop. I haven't been outside working on the excavator and on my tractor, and the all the neighbors are mowing their lawn, so the pollen is kicking up from the grasses and stuff, and it's time for me to take more allergy pills anyways. All right, for my family here, we're up here. My daughter's and her family's across the street. My wife and 2 sons know immediately where to come to if the poop hits the fan. Several of my nieces and nephews who are still in the city, but want to be out in the country but can't afford it yet. Would most likely, about 3 or 4 of them would be given a thumbs up to come here, because I got 5 acres over there. We can park trailers, boom, 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 and do stuff to make things better there for them. But we have an area where they can survive. We got enough to put. If we put garden in for all the garden area we could grow and had enough people to tend it, we would have a friggin' boatload of food. We'd probably, in 1 year, we'd probably store up enough food for everybody for 2 years or more. And of course, once we were into a Tawaki situation or a SHTF situation, there's no more job. People aren't going into the city to work. That's over and done with. So everybody has more free time to actually garden or raise rabbits or raise chickens or raise pigs or sheep or whatever. You want some mutton stew?
I just had a bunch of hot Italian sausage, pepper, and onion subs, like little mini subs. Figured CR would have read my post earlier, but he's not. He's eating. That's good. He gets angry.
Let's see. Yeah, that's one of the things I did here when I was in. It's just there was a lot of people. Oh, you bought the biggest piece of land in town. It's like it was the only one for sale at the time, and one of you people came after me and said, "Hey, buy this." So I did. And when they found one of us brought you in here, oh, okay. And so it took a while, and when I first got the property over there, I was going to put out, hey, I got several acres here. I got it all disc, raked, plowed, disc, raked, and ready to grow. If anybody wants to put in, use it for a community garden, grow, stake out an area and grow stuff. No one took me up on it, but there was a lot of people going, oh, okay, that's nice. Good to know. He's helping the community. And with the for the last several years, I've been videotaping every city council meeting and putting it up on my Facebook page the Camp Family Compound. Plus, then I link it on my Facebook. I link it on the city's Facebook. I link it on the church's Facebook. I link it on the town across the street's Facebook. So everybody around, they see it if they're interested. Sometimes the views are through the roof. Other times it's 15, 20 views, and that's it. But I can tell by the comments when people in town are viewing, they're going, what? Can you give me more information on this? And usually by then, the city council person who sees the post, because she manages the one Facebook site, it's like, okay, all right, this is what's going on, and she gets back to them right away.
You guys going to raise your water prices one of these days?
It's supposed to be on the I think it's going to be addressed as far as for public hearing in July. So on August, which is when we have to set the city budget here. That's the budget month. They got to get everything set and submitted to the state as well, because there's certain monies to get back from the state depending on how we set the budget up. So they'll have it there, and they will have the people come in and make public comment. That's the word I'm looking for, public comment on it, and then they're going to raise it. And people say, "Oh, we don't want you to raise it." It's like, you guys have been screaming don't raise it since 2020, and now we are, so far behind. We don't have the money to maintain the system, and all of a sudden your water's going to go because you don't want to spend the money for maintenance on it.
Yeah, you'll probably have those that, I'm spending more money, I'm going to use more water.
Well, one of the things they're doing is they're putting working meters on all the houses, but all they need to do is they can just go by with a wand and walk over and wave it over the meter, and it logs the meter number and what the current use is. And once they get everybody's house back on it where it's functioning like that, then they will they're going to go change it from a base rate for unlimited water to, okay, your base rate gives you so much water, which is more than most people use in the city. And if you go over that, like some people go 10 times that over because they run their sprinklers 24/7 practically during the summertime. And then they'll get charged. There'll be tiers above that to get people to quit wasting water. Problem is, like, people don't bother fixing their toilets here either. Okay, we got off topic. Let's get back onto it.
Sorry about that.
No, that's the thing. Then that is actually some of the things you need to work around for a CAG, a mutual assistance group. If you guys are setting up on a property somewhere else, how are you going to be getting water? How are you going to be doing food? And how much does a person get to use for their? If you're limited on water resource, a person can't be taking a 30-minute shower.
Yeah, you give them a hand pump and say, go get whatever water you need, and make them carry it all the way back. They'll be taking short showers real quick.
And that's one of the things that people are going to have to address on things. And even if you're in a community assistance group or a mutual assistance community where everybody's staying still, is, hey, when the power goes out, after a while, the water pressure goes out too. Because no power, no pumping water up onto the hill or up into the big water tank to maintain pressure for the city. That's one of the things people need to think about.
That's assuming you have a really big community assistance group. Small groups in that, you may only have a couple drums up on a mound of dirt.
And that's the thing. Definitely good topic discussion. Nowadays we don't know. Nowadays we don't know too many neighbors. Most of my neighbors here are more concerned about driving habits instead of preparing for SHTF situation. And things they don't even have to. That's the thing. If you want to get prepared for something, don't get them prepared for SHTF. Get them prepared for stuff that happens all the time. If you're down, hurricanes come through, well, get extra gear for hurricanes and get extra supplies for this. So you're not freaking out when everybody else freaks out when, okay, we got a hurricane making a landfall. Or if you're in Tornado Alley, you're prepared for stuff like that. And you're not freaking out when, oh, crap, there's a big one coming this way here. You know what to do and you're prepared for it. You get them to prepare for that stuff. Then you get them to expand their preparedness from the basic stuff and what's going to happen every friggin' year where you're at to stuff that happens every couple years or every 5 years. That's where you get people on board. But all of a sudden they realize, wow, I never realized I felt so good doing this. I'm not as stressed out about things because I know I got food. I got a water supply here. I got a pump and well thing. I drive a well real quick. Now in an emergency, now the city won't be stopping me. So, there's you get people on board to start thinking about the things that do happen all the time and how to keep them from being affected by those things.
I had too many friends, had too many friends that they're just too complacent. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, if the power went out for 3 days, what do you do? Oh, I got some food in the cupboard. I open up their cupboard. I got a couple cans of chicken noodle soup, and their pantry has 18 cases of Diet Pepsi, Doritos. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna live on that? Oh, I'll just come to your house. No, you won't. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the and that's one of the things. Before I retired, and I was working with the state of California and Contra Costa County and County Alameda and stuff for setting up the CERT teams and emergency preparedness and getting the police departments on board and the fire departments on board and getting their own staff prepared and encouraging their staff to be prepared for long-term emergencies. So many times, some higher up, like a deputy chief or a captain or a city council member, oh, we'll just come to your house. You ain't gonna find anything there because if it's a situation where it's bad enough, you're coming to my house, I'm already gone. We're out of state with everything long time before you have a chance to get there. And that you'd be surprised how many people's mouths just almost hit the floor. Like, yeah, I ain't sticking around. If it's that bad, I'm out of here. I'm heading back to my roots. Country.
Yeah, nobody realizes it. Oh, I got the stores open. I'll just run down to the store. Let me spend a half a gallon of gas in my car that I can't get gas for to go try to buy a gallon of milk so my kids can have cereal eating oats. Oh, wait a minute. That was yesterday.
Yeah. Distill the diet soda into drinkable water. And whatever's left over, you can use that as a toxic poison to dip your darts into.
Yeah. No, rebottle it and tell your neighbors it's that you don't like, that it's something that's really good, and let them steal it, and they don't have to worry about them. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? I got to stop doing that.
Buffer zone. All right, I'm sitting back away from the screen a little bit farther with my glasses. I thought I said the Buffy zone.
Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Zone.
That's exactly what it is. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah. Let's see. For me, the nearest store, well, there's a gas station with one of those little mini marts in the town across the railroad tracks here. The next one has one store, and it's called Bolam's, and it's 5 miles north. Another 5 miles, then I hit Idaho Falls, and we got everything: Sam's, Costco. Of course, that's another 10 miles on the other side, to get across Idaho Falls to the other side of it. But yeah, you got 2 Walmart super centers and all this other stuff there. Yeah.
And that's the problem. If the power goes out, everybody's going to go to the store, but the stores aren't going to be open because they got cash registers and computers to maintain their inventory, and they can't fire them up. Sorry, we can't sell you anything. And then the rioting begins. They just go in there and take what they want and clear the stores out, and now you got nothing.
Yeah. And most stores don't, other than the mom and pop ones, don't have a backup to. Let's invest in this big old generator here that will, it's cheaper just to, instead of putting generators at every store, just to when one store goes out, we balance that against the whole store, and we just hold the chain, and we just, that's a drop in the bucket. We got to throw away all the frozen food, all the refrigerated food, and all the fresh vegetables need to get thrown away. But whatever type of group you want to be along in, make sure that leadership is voted in and out. Make sure that one of the goals is to thrive, not just survive. Make sure that one of the goals is to be able to, that they want to recruit people with specific skills, if they don't have them already, that they're going to go out looking for them after the event starts.
So basically,
doctors, dentists, nurse practitioners, midwives, plumbers, carpenters, woodwrights.
So basically, the town that has a sign out front that says lawyers and accountants here, yeah, they're not going to make it.
Yeah. I don't know. I know one accountant that'll kick just about everybody's butt in here.
Well, if that's all they do is accounting and lawyers.
That's all she does right now is accounting. What she did to become an accountant was wearing stripes, and it was in a unit of drill sergeants.
Well, okay. There are those exceptions.
Yes. And the exceptions are also...
If the entire law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe shows up and says, hey, we want to join your community, it's like, what kind of skills you got? Well, I can sue your neighbor for his food. It's like, get out of here.
It's like, I'll tell you what, we got the perfect spot for you. You see this yellow hopper over here? Jump in and slide down to the bottom down there.
There's a spinning Ferris wheel waiting for you.
We just fed the hogs.
It's the spinning Ferris wheel. Yeah, that's in case Buffy shows up.
No, that's in case Spike shows up, or Lilith, or one of the other vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't stuck this winter for a period here when everybody else was having problems, but I looked outside and go, I'm not gonna. I could probably make it into Idaho Falls, because they should be. On Facebook they're saying they're plowing the streets right now. It's like, yeah, I got enough. My milk doesn't expire for another, or doesn't. Best use by date's not for another 2 weeks here. So I just got it. And if it does, and once that's gone, I got the powdered milk, but I know how to fix it. I got plenty of food, and
I love in my neighborhood when we get like a foot or two of snow. The plows, we're last on the list to get plowed, but everybody's got their driveway shoveled and ready to go. I'm like, where are you going? Where are you going? I just sit home and look out the window, and I may go out and shovel if I'm in the mood, clean the cars off. But I'm good. I just sit here and watch the watch the mayhem ensue and people slide into a ditch because they got 4-wheel drive and ABS brakes.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so on voting in and out, it's not the most popular. You want the one who has the best skills for leading. And that's one of the things that needs to be set up for your group. All right. Who has the best skills to lead us, to keep us alive? Not who's most popular, not who's the biggest schmoozer, because the biggest schmoozer is going to wind up with a knife in its back. And so if he tries to take over the group. So it's one of those things of, but because generally once you get a leadership set, the leadership's not going to change too much so long as they're doing a good job. If they're doing a really good job and everything's going along, most people are going to go, all right, just give us a report. How are we doing? How are things going on? Where are we short on? Where we have excess on? How do we make the group work a little bit better? And if they're a good leader, they're in there. Also, if they're a good leader, they're not getting paid. They're probably out there working more volunteer hours than anybody else, helping everybody else, going around checking on everybody, making sure. That's the type of person you want for a leader. If you don't have that type of person, you need to get that when you do out and put that type of person in, so they can actually, see what's going on in the community and realize what they need to do.
Hey,
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
No, I can nicely say I have never watched a single episode.
But from all I've heard other people talking about, it's like, oh, the king's over there. Let's see. The Barrett M82, with the proper scope on it, you can hit 4.3 miles away. No more king.
Yep. Queen of her own castle. I'm king of my castle. My wife is the queen of the castle. There's only 2 of us, so we're good.
Yeah. So when it comes to a group, you want to make sure when you're thinking about joining a group, you want to make sure that group meshes with you. Not that you mesh with the group, but the group meshes with you too. And make sure you're bringing enough to the table. You say, well, no, I'm sorry. It's I'm bringing more to the table than I'm getting from this group. I'll go to another group. That's why I said, learn more skills. I mean, if you had a couple pressure canners and good supply of rings and lids and jars and stuff, you can be an example to everyone else in the group. Hey, get jars, get lids, get rings now. Go buy a canner. Oh, I don't know how to use it. Go buy a canner or 2. You will learn how to use it.
I'll teach you.
Yeah. Hey, roaming prepper, how's it going? In a hotel this weekend? Wanted to share a comment and a like. Well, thank you very much, sir. All right. So let's see. Yeah. And here's the other thing, too, you got to realize. If you are in a group that's going to be going somewhere else and not going to remain a community or a stationary group, how far away is that group? Do you have to travel to get there? What sort of amenities do you get from being part of that group? Gary Higbee. was talking about getting together with some of his nephews and stuff and buying an old ghost town. All the building, they've shot movies there, so all the buildings are still structurally sound, but it's been abandoned, I think, like 30 years ago. Just abandoned because there's nothing, there's nothing going on there. And he was thinking about buying it. So, I mean, that's one thing, that you have something there. It's not a setup for a business yet type thing for a village, but it could be. You have all the different backyards and stuff of the abandoned houses and stuff, gardens. All you got to do is make sure you have water, and if you do it right, solar panels, power. Yeah, I agree. So,
don't forget about the skill of fire safety, which nobody ever talks about. Because you're going to have that one house that all of a sudden catches on fire. And yeah, you don't want the rest of the neighborhood to go with it, or the trees or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So that, basically you're going to be setting up your own form of government, and you've got to pick what type of form of government do you want. For because basically, if this is what's surviving after the apocalypse, whatever it is it going to be the form of government you want to live under? So, anyways, I hope everybody got some useful information from this and got food for thought, and are now a little bit better informed to make a decision and can start looking for a place, a group. That's one of the reasons we got out of California. About 2012, 2013, my wife seriously started going, Governor Moonbeam is turning this into a shithole. She no longer wanted to retire in California. She wanted to be out. And she started looking at places where her company had field offices at. And she looked at Las Vegas and goes, "Oh, we go to Las Vegas." Oh man. It was all I could do to bite down on my tongue and not let it rip. And then she saw my face, and she saw it is goes, okay, you're trying to control it. What's one reason wrong? And I said, power goes out, you have nothing. No water, no gas, no natural gas, no power, obviously, but and in that hot desert heat, you're screwed. Las Vegas is an artificial oasis. So we dropped that one. And she goes, "Well, we down in Phoenix." I said, "Same damn thing. Phoenix is an artificial." There's several things that could pack the water supply for either one of those places. Really easy, and it's only no water. All of a sudden, now you got 1 million starving and thirsty people. So you got to look for an area that And we looked at Texas, where my sister is at, and it's like, been to Texas a couple times, not a fan. And at the time, they were having a big influx of both the Africanized bee and the fire ants was in the news and stuff. And it's like, you really want to set up a garden being infested by those? So she dropped Texas off, and several places looked at, and once we got on the other side of the Mississippi, looking at places, she was like, I'm not sure I want to uproot and move everything all at once. And then we started looking up here in Idaho, and she came up here a couple times looking around and like, nice area. All right, Snake River's here, so there's water nearby and stuff. And we were looking at several different houses. You know, made a couple offers, or were ready to make offers, and the people accepted the first offer someone made to them, which was like 30,000 under, and they go, okay, we'll take it. And we were ready to pay 20,000 over the asking price because we knew what that property was worth. So you got to pick your area, you know, and you want to look at the area. You want to say, all right, okay, this guy has a mechanic auto shop in the back of it, in his backyard. So there's that. This one has something there. This one has these. And you look for skills and stuff around. Oh, this person has a couple of greenhouses set up, and it's not a business. They just grow a lot of food. Did I get myself going again? Yeah, I saw the freeze, the super freeze start, and it was losing connectivity, so I had to reset the camera real quick. Hey, so you need to pick your area, even if you know, just for the area we were at in California wasn't too bad, but it wasn't the best area to be in if the poop hits the fan. Yes, look for environmental problems as well. And you want to check the area out, because you don't want to wind up moving on top of Love Canal. If anybody in here remembers what Love Canal is. Yeah, or on top of what used to be a Superfund site. When I was working construction, we had the contract to go in and remediate all the soil on a Superfund site in Emeryville, California. And they said, this is what we want done. These are the parameters we want it back in. We set up our equipment. We ran all the soil through the mixer and incinerator and stuff, and out the other side, and everything tested perfect. And so we dug down. We took 10 feet off the soil, piled it, processed it, and then started putting it back, and just moved along like that, did the whole area. You know what they put in there? Apartment buildings and mini malls. We were trying to raise concerns like, hey, we've gone down 10 feet, but the soil beneath this looks just as bad, and they told us to shut up. That the contract was for 10 feet and 10 feet only. Yeah, so you want also, one of the other things you look at, the state you're going to set up in, if you're going to be changing states, is what sort of leanings does that state have? Are they full of free giveaways to everybody, and everybody that's a refugee from wherever is welcome here? Or are they, you work for what you get, it's yours, no one has the right to take it from you. Oh, by the way, we're constitutional carry in this state. Where the other one is, oh, we don't want anybody carrying a gun. We're going to stop crime by making everybody helpless. So yeah, there's a lot of things to look at before you even figure out where you want to go to. And if you're thinking of joining a LLC, a MAG, or anything that owns property, how are they able to afford that property? What is the history of that property? Is there radiation leakage out there from something, or is it chemicals or whatever? You need to find out about that. So, yeah. Well, anyways, you got, thinking about setting up a group takes a lot of brain power. My wife and I were looking for several years before we bought the first house here in across the street here, and we were both still working. I didn't retire for a couple of years after we had that. My daughter moved into it, so we didn't have to winterize it. And then we lucked into the second property here. Brandon came over and said, "Hey, I'm moving to Blackfoot. You interested in buying my place?" Yep. And in a town that is a lot of the properties are 1 acre, but there are also a bunch that are half acre and a bunch that were down to quarter acre before they passed the ordinance that says, you cannot subdivide less than a half acre without city council approval. And city council drags their feet really hard on approving anything that's less than a half acre right now. Yeah, to have the largest plot of land here is cool, but it's also a lot of work. And that's the thing is, wherever you go to, it's going to be a lot of work.
I'm looking to buy the adjacent property to mine, which is not built on or anything, and still on a great tax program. I just want to buy it so nobody else can.
Yeah. I mean, that's this way, if we had the money to spend, there's been 5 houses here in the city I would have bought just to keep certain people from buying them. And the last one that's for sale down here is only a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, a little small house. And the garage is bigger than the house, but it's on a full acre, which means that's a lot of garden space or a lot of space to raise rabbits or chickens or sheep or goats, whatever. All right, I see we're over time here, so let me grab the list here and go over what's coming up here. All righty. So Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound, we're going to be talking about recanning bulk canned food. So you get something in number 10 cans, or you get something in the 5-gallon pail, or the 2.5-gallon pail, and you want to recan it into jars and stuff. That's what we're going to be talking about on Monday. Tactical Tuesday, back here on GrayManPrepping, is making fire. Thursday night is the midnight ride, open chat after I do the news. And I got some doozies all ready for it. Let's see. Friday night on the homestead for Camp Patton Family Compound. Cooking in cast iron is going to be the topic for Friday. Then next Saturday,
that'll be perfect. I'll be at my property at the cabin on Friday night and Saturday night. Perfect.
Saturday here for next Survival Saturday is we're going to talk something that most preppers do not like talking about. I don't know why they don't like talking about having a garden. A lot of these preppers and stuff, boy, I got my seed vault. I got a 5-gallon bucket of seed of all these different seeds and stuff. And when it happens, then I'll plant a garden. I'll have plenty of food. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the reality of gardening especially if you're a prepper. And it's like, hey, I got plenty of food here. Why am I working so hard right now on putting in fruit trees for this year? And why am I planting so much stuff that I'm not going to eat, that I'm going to give away to people in town? Because I need to learn how to plant it and how it grows here. And it's the trees probably aren't going to start producing till, a couple of them will produce next year because they already got fruit on them now. So, and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be talking about next Saturday. All righty, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Keep adding to your preps: water, food, medicine, clothing, and learn a new skill or two every month. See you all around.
Night, everybody.